Tonight on Newswatch, the Ohio House passes the state's two-year budget today.
Plus, a manhunt for 4 escaped inmates is underway in Mississippi.
And in sports, how the Athens softball team has been one of the best Division II teams in the state. Newswatch starts right now. Tonight, we're celebrating our seniors here on Newswatch.
We'll be switching in and out for the whole show so you can say goodbye to your favorite anchors. Good evening, I'm Madison Moore.
And I'm Lexi Lepoff. Welcome to Newswatch.
The full Republican-led Ohio House just passed the two-year state operational budget 78-19 earlier today.
This all after the $88.1 billion budget cleared an Ohio House panel yesterday with bipartisan support. A spokesperson for House Republicans says the two-year funding includes nearly $1 billion in income tax savings. Majority of Republicans saying this would help the middle class. It also includes provisions to help ensure higher wages for some teachers and healthcare workers. The late additions to the budget include a study on the future of gambling, a reshuffling of sports betting licenses, and some oversight on school vouchers. The budget will next head to the GOP-led Senate. Lawmakers must pass a budget by June 30th. Ohio's bipartisan group of election officials is opposing a bill to allow an August special election. This election would allow voters to vote on a constitutional amendment, making it harder to amend the Constitution in the future. The plan would require a 60% voter approval. The August vote would come 3 months before a reproductive rights amendment is expected to be on the ballot. Governor Mike DeWine saying Monday he will sign the bill. Boards of elections statewide would need to find hundreds of poll workers in polling locations for an unexpected August 8th special election. The August 2022 special election had a turnout of 7.9%, but Republicans who back the idea say they believe the attention on this 60% approval threshold amendment will guarantee a bigger turnout. The bill that would expand the school's current school voucher program to nearly all K-12 students isn't in the budget. Backers of what's known as the backpack bill, however, are continuing to push for it. Parents and voucher supporters who are for expanding vouchers that can be used by nearly every family who prefers to send their child to private schools gathered outside the State House. Representative Riordan McLean, the sponsor of the bill, is disappointed there's not more money for the expanded vouchers. Representative Jay Edwards, however, says if people want universal vouchers, there needs to be oversight to make sure public and private schools are held to the same standards.
West Virginia University says it will no longer require applicants to submit SAT or ACT test scores. The public university's Board of Governors approved the test optional admission policy permanently. This comes after the board adopted the policy due to the pandemic in 2020. It has been extended 3 times since then. Test scores could still be required for some course placements, but scholarships will be offered for test option applicants at WVU. The testing requirements still exist for merit-based state scholarships offered for West Virginia residents. The Pleasance Power Station along the Ohio River in West Virginia will stay open after an interim solution proposal was approved just hours before the deadline. The decision from the West Virginia Public Service Commission guarantees the plant stays open for another 12 months. That's from WTAP. Mon Power will pay an estimated $3 million per month to cover the cost of keeping the plant operational. But Pleasance Power Station plans to stop producing electricity after May 31st.
And oh my goodness, it does not get better than it is right now, y'all. Outside here on beautiful College Green, it is just smooth sailing throughout the rest of the night. Good evening. I'm meteorologist Aaron Ashley.
And I'm meteorologist Jacob Van Cleve. And yeah, Aaron, we've had those clear skies throughout today and those sunny conditions.
Oh my gosh, it's just been stunning. I know a lot of people, if we'll go ahead and take a step back, you can see a lot of people are actually taking advantage of this. You can see them walking in and out, but we'll go ahead and just let you know that right now we're looking at temperatures around about 64 degrees and partly cloudy skies, winds out of the northwestern direction. And look, wow, we're looking at a very nice steady pressure, Jacob. Jake. What does that mean?
Yeah, those pressures are rising, and we also notice those humidities are also decreasing as well. And it's because we do have this high pressure system that's kind of dominating our region, and that's why we've actually seen this clearing throughout the entirety of today. You'll see there's that cloud layer right there. No, you're good, Aaron. You've got that whole cloud layer is now pushing on out, and we have those clear skies.
Oh my gosh, and we're going to talk about in our full forecast when you might actually need to break out the winter coat once again. We're going to go ahead and toss it over to our friend Andre.
Thanks, guys. On to the next story. A man and woman charged with sex crimes against 2 children are being re-indicted with new related charges. Paul Sebring of Marietta and Irene Day of Logan were originally indicted in the Hocking County Common Pleas Court on March 10th. 52-year-old Sebring was originally indicted on 8 counts of rape and 3 counts of gross sexual imposition, and 39-year-old Day on the counts of rape and 4 of gross sexual imposition. According to the London Daily News, last Thursday, new indictments were filed with more counts of rape and gross sexual imposition. Both Day and Sebring remain in the Southeastern Ohio Regional Jail. The Athens County Sheriff's Office is now in possession of over 200 pounds of medication from collection in Athens County during National Drug Take-Back Day. Deputies, officers, and volunteers from around Athens County work together to collect the drugs. According to the Drug Enforcement Administration, prescription drugs thrown away improperly can be a health hazard. National Drug Take-Back Day enforces safe drug disposal to prevent drug poisoning, overdose, and abuse. For anyone who has missed this day, prescription medication can be disposed of year-round at the Athens County Sheriff's Office during regular business hours.
Ohio University community members marched through campus to spread awareness for Earth Day. Newswatch reporter Peyton Simchek has more on the parade.
Over 30 marchers chanted and made noise for Earth Day through campus and uptown. The Ohio University Office of Sustainability organized a parade to celebrate their efforts and bring attention to current environmental issues. Janalee Stock, a member of Athens Rethinks Plastics, marched to advocate for literally just that.
We can't keep using single-use plastic bags. They are polluting the earth. They are breaking down into little tiny pieces.
While Dominic Strackwitting uses a costume to convey a message.
This is a wonderful metaphor that lets people know that there are consequences to our actions that we just often take for granted. And it's a result of what we happen to live with.
Strackwitting says he looks at the parade as an opportunity to let people know that there are alternatives.
There are ways to reduce our plastic use. While there are new innovative ways to make plastic less damaging.
Sam Crowell, the Associate Director of Sustainability, says it's a chance for people to learn from one another and get excited about what's happening in the community.
Obviously, with climate change and pollution and a lot of very unfortunate things that are happening in our world, it's pretty easy to get dragged down and to be really fearful about what's happening. But on Earth Day and at the Earth Day celebrations, we really like to try to accent the positive.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Peyton Simchek in Athens.
Earth Day celebrations will continue at Walter Hall on Saturday. Coming up after the break, White House Speaker Kevin McCarthy's new proposal to raise the debt ceiling is raising concerns.
If you're interested in more in-depth in your car, on a jog, you can find the outlet on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
And find out after the break, will April showers bring May flowers? We got you covered in our full forecast.
I'm Emily Sandy. Both sets of my grandparents were involved in violent struggles in Africa. One tasked with upholding the British Empire.
All who carry the mark of the Mau Mau must be hunted out so that peace may come to this troubled colony.
The other trying to overthrow it.
People like your grandfather fought against these policies and they demanded independence.
My grandparents' war.
Tuesday at 10 on WOUB.
ALS causes the degeneration of the neurons that control muscle movement.
We don't quit. That's our motto.
What I do for my wife, I do it because I love her, and no one can do this alone. My hope is it goes from being a fatal disease to a chronic disease that you can live with.
Matter of Mind, My ALS, Monday, May 1st at 10/9 Central on Independent Lens.
In 2013, the Caribbean Sea gave up an extraordinary secret.
It's just humongous.
An uncharted, undiscovered coral reef.
It's like a medieval fortress.
But the challenge was how to keep this underwater Eden safe.
I realized we needed to research it, but we needed to keep it quiet.
It's a tantalizing treasure that will raise hopes for the survival of coral reefs everywhere.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
Historical symbols have a lot to say about who we were and who we have become as a people in this country. But our collective memory is shaped by who is doing the history telling.
And I just go like that, and the ball would go all the way over the green monster. Sylvester Stallone, and I'm in his shoes.
At a time when America has become increasingly divided, it's important to consider the things that connect us.
Wednesday at 10 on WOUB.
Officially seeking a second term in the White House. Biden released a video message yesterday in which he said the fight for the nation's soul is not complete. John Lawrence reports on this as the need for a resolution to the country's debt ceiling is looming.
President Joe Biden's fourth and final White House bid is underway.
The question we're facing is whether in the years ahead we have more freedom or less freedom, more rights or fewer. I know what I want the answer to be, and I think you do too.
A source familiar with Biden's plan says TV ads will start airing Wednesday in key battleground states, including Arizona, Georgia, and Pennsylvania.
We made a lot of progress because of all of you, but there's more to do.
While Biden received a warm reception in his first public remarks as a 2024 candidate from union allies in Washington, he's got a 41% approval rating in April from a CNN poll, which is the second lowest among all presidents at the same time in their respective administrations in 7 decades. And even some Democratic lawmakers are staying tight-lipped about Biden's bid.
Whatever announcements I'm going to be made won't be done to December. On anybody.
The nation is also facing the deadline for the debt ceiling crisis. And as of now, Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy are still not on the same page.
With this president, in the next 10 years, 3 of the trust funds will become insolvent. The highway, Social Security, and Medicare. We cannot sit back and ignore the problem like the president has.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Meanwhile, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says House Speaker McCarthy's new proposal to raise the debt ceiling, which just passed through the House, would save $4.8 trillion over the next decade. But the plan includes a controversial policy. It would require more low-income Americans to work to receive government benefits like food stamps and Medicaid. The GOP sees this as a way to reduce government spending and bolster the nation's labor force, but Democrats in the White House fiercely oppose work requirements. Chair of the House Democratic Caucus, Pete Aguilar, says it would be dead on arrival in the Senate.
Speaker McCarthy's sideshow, the Default on America Act, is an extreme MAGA Republican wish list that has zero chance of passing the Senate. And we'll see if it passes the House. Every minute wasted on Speaker McCarthy's empty gesture is a minute we get closer to default and Republican-manufactured recession.
McCarthy's plan would also roll back domestic and non-defense spending to 2022 levels and limit spending going forward to 1% a year. Parts of the Inflation Reduction Act would also change, which is one of President Biden's signature legislative achievements. It's unlikely to pass in the Senate, and President Biden has threatened to veto the bill, too.
And like I was mentioning a little bit earlier on, we had a beautiful day today. Partly sunny skies, that temperature was sitting nice and pretty in the mid to upper 60s. That temperature though, Jake, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
it is low.
It's going to be dropping tonight. I mean, if you think about the clouds, when you have those clouds in the area, it traps the heat, but then overnight, when you don't have those clouds, it radiates away. So that's what's prompted this this warning statement from the National Weather Service. We have both frost warnings, frost advisories, and even special weather statements just for mentioning frost. Now these go into effect at 2 a.m. tonight when those temperatures do drop, and they are expected to be lifted around 9 a.m. But Aaron, people need to be careful with their commutes in the morning. They might want to save extra bit of time in case they got to get rid of that frost on the windshield.
Oh my gosh, no, absolutely. I know I personally will be taking the extra couple minutes out of my morning routine to really do that. But contrary to that, we got beautiful skies right now. Again, like Jake was mentioning, we have all of that heat, and that's going to escape out of our atmosphere because of the lack of clouds tonight, and that's what's going to cause that temperature to really start to drop. Go ahead and look at the bigger picture of things. Again, not too much happening here over in southeastern Ohio, but there's some stuff bubbling up, Jake, I believe.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, over the past 24 hours, you'll notice we've had this high pressure dominating our region here, but just down in Florida, they've had supercells with 2-inch size hail dropping down there along that frontal boundary there, and then they've had all this rain, Aaron.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. We're very lucky that we haven't gotten hit by any of that quite yet. Stay tuned. But again, mostly clear skies. That temperature is looking very cold tonight. Grab the winter coat. Tomorrow we're going to warm up to a nice 70 degrees. Hang up the coat just temporarily. Mostly cloudy skies with those low pressure systems, Jake. Again,
definitely enjoy those warmer temperatures while they're still here in those clear skies. I know it'll be cloudy, but that high pressure is eventually going to move out of the region here. We won't see it up there. That's going to move more towards the eastern seaboard there and out of our direction. This warm front with all this nasty red, I mean, Aaron, red means stop and bad. Am I right?
Oh my gosh,
this rain's going to come into our region here. Yeah,
I mean, it's not going to get too bad, but as far as severity goes, it's not going to get too bad. But this weekend, it's going to get nice and rainy because, bam, that low pressure system is just going to carry into our area, and it's just going to make for the rainiest week that you could imagine just in time for graduation, guys.
Yep, that low pressure is just going to sit there and bring us rain, but also drop temperatures.
I know. Let's go ahead and take a step back, give the people what they want to see. A rainy week ahead, guys. This weekend, 100% chance of showers, and it's just going to be that way for the rest of the week. So enjoy the sun while you can. I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to my friend Brenna.
Thank you, Aaron. 4 escaped inmates in Mississippi are being linked to at least one death and a string of stolen vehicles. The sheriff in Hinds County, about 20 minutes west of Jackson, says the 4 men were reported missing from the correctional facility Sunday. This morning, a reported sighting of one of the escapees resulted in a gunfight with police and a house fire in Leake County, Mississippi. Authorities have now confirmed that at least one person is dead, but they aren't saying if it's one of the fugitives. The Leake County Sheriff posted a picture of escapee Dylan Arrington earlier, warning the public to watch out for him. Laura Aguirre has more on this developing story.
There is no confirmation of Dylan Arrington being deceased at this particular time. But I will tell you that we do have a strong belief that he was here.
Dylan Arrington, 22 years old and one of 4 escapees from the Raymond Detention Center in Hinds County, Mississippi this past weekend. Wednesday morning, law enforcement surrounded a house in Leake County, Mississippi, where Arrington was believed to be inside.
And that's when the individual inside the residence started open fire from my deputy on the front side of the house and where he was struck in the lower leg.
The wounded deputy was taken to a local hospital as the gunfire exchange continued and then escalated into a house fire.
There was an exchange of gunfire. We believe to be someone inside of the residence, and there was a fire at the residence. And at this particular time, it's an ongoing investigation.
Police are not yet confirming if Arrington, considered the most dangerous of the 4, is dead. Arrington is also linked to the death of a man in Jackson, Mississippi on Monday. Police there believe the man pulled over to help Arrington, who they say had wrecked a stolen motorcycle. The other fugitives are Corey Harrison and Casey Grayson, both in their 20s, and Jerry Rains, 51. Records show Rains broke out of the same detention center in 2021 before being recaptured.
I feel very optimistic that they will be brought back into custody in a very timely manner as well.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Coming up in sports, they may very well be the best Division II team in the state of Ohio. Find out why Athens softball has everybody in Southeast Ohio talking when Newswatch returns. And to stay up to date on the latest from Newswatch, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Coming up on the next Song of the Mountains. Lively performances where old tradition meets new, here on Song of the Mountains.
Thursday at 8 on WOUB.
Here's what's new this month with Passport.
Once upon a time in Merry England, there lived a boy called Tom.
We've got time, but maybe Christian doesn't.
More resilience in the natural world must be the key.
These and all your favorite shows are available with Passport. Support your PBS station and stream more with Passport on the PBS app.
I promised I wouldn't cry.
On Finding Your Roots, journalist Nina Totenberg
It just makes me so curious.
and talk show host Andy Cohen.
I'm scared.
Ancestors who overcame enormous odds.
She got up by the skin of her teeth. She was a fighter.
Plus,
You gonna tell me who my cousin is now? Yes. Please turn the page. You're kidding me. Yes.
Finding Your Roots.
Tuesday at 8 on WOUB.
ALS causes the degeneration of the neurons that control muscle movement.
We don't quit. That's our motto.
What I do for my wife, I do it because I love her, and no one can do this alone.
My hope is it goes from being a fatal disease to a chronic disease that you can live with.
Matter of Mind, My ALS. Monday, May 1st at 10, 9 Central on Independent Lens.
Welcome back. I'm Joe Collins. The Athens softball team was just ranked the #1 team in the state of Ohio for Division II and is undefeated to start the season. Newswatch reporter Andrew Bolby takes a deeper look at the Bulldogs' success.
A 3-run double. Athens softball is in one of its most dominant seasons to date. Off to an astonishing 18-0 start, the Bulldogs have been running away from their competition all season. Outscoring opponents 225-41, the team has been untouchable through the first half of the year. One key to Athens' success has been its depth. Head coach Roger Bissell says they run a 12-man roster.
One of the great things about this group is it's 12 strong. I mean, we're a team, we're one solid unit. It's not one individual. If one person's off this day, the next person's going to pick them up.
Another piece of the dominance for the Bulldogs has been team chemistry. The roster has been playing together from a very young age. For senior Bailey Toadvine, having a great spring during her senior year has been exciting.
It's really exciting, actually. We've been building up our success these past years after playing with each other for so long.
The undefeated start has propelled Athens to the top of the state coaches poll. Even though the team is proud of the achievement, Bissell says his team doesn't focus on it.
It's an incredible accomplishment for the girls, but it's not something that we really talk about a lot just because we have a lot of work still left to do, and that to me is just a number. We have a lot of things a lot of goals that we still want to reach.
With the pressure of being at the top of Division II, senior Katie Ann Wilburn says they take it one game at a time to enjoy her final year.
Honestly, we just take it game by game. We know this is our last year together, so we try to make every moment special.
Despite winning games by as many runs as the Bulldogs have been, they are aware of what can happen if they slow down.
I think there's always that thought of what if, so we never want that to happen. We're just keep going, we were pushing it, and it just feels good, so we just want to keep going with it.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Andrew Bolby in Athens.
The top-seeded Bulldogs remain undefeated as of yesterday by knocking off John Glenn, the 8th-ranked school in D2, 13-6. They're currently on the road taking on conference rival Nelsonville York. Staying on the softball diamond, the Ohio Bobcats hosted Toledo for a doubleheader earlier today with the top seed in the Mid-American Conference up for grabs. In Game 1 of the doubleheader, the teams traded 3 runs each in the first, but the Rockets outscored the Bobcats 8-0 over the final 4 innings to soar past Ohio 11-3. Toledo's Lauren Erickson had 4 RBIs during the game. Game 2 had an identical start with both teams scoring 3 runs apiece in the first. Both teams continued to trade runs as the Bobcats scored 3 runs in the 7th to push the game into extras. And breaking news, the Bobcats came away with a walk-off in extra innings 10-9 to take home the victory. Let's take a look at what implications these games had on the MAC standings. Well, you can't really see it, but Central Michigan has gained sole control of first place with 2 wins today, with Ohio sitting at third. The top seed at the end of the regular season will host the MAC tournament. Now let's throw it over to the desk.
After the break, we celebrate our seniors in a very special way. First, stay tuned to PBS NewsHour, or that's what's coming up next, rather. Here's a look at what's coming next on your public television station.
Historical symbols have a lot to say about who we were and who we have become as a people in this country. But our collective memory is shaped by who is doing the history telling.
And I just go like that, and the ball would go all the way over the green monster. Sylvester Stallone, and I'm in his shoes.
At a time when America has become increasingly divided, it's important to consider the things that connect us.
Wednesday at 10 on WOUB.
Here's what's new this month with Passport.
Once upon a time in Merry England, there lived a boy called Tom.
We've got time, but maybe Christian doesn't.
More resilient in the natural world must be the key.
These and all your favorite shows are available with Passport. Support your PBS station and stream more with Passport on the PBS app.
ALS causes the degeneration of the neurons that control muscle movement.
We don't quit. That's our motto.
What I do for my wife, I do it because I love her, and no one can do this alone.
My hope is it goes from being a fatal disease to a chronic disease that you can live with.
Matter of Mind, My ALS, Monday, May 1st at 10/9 Central on Independent Lens.
I promised I wouldn't cry.
On Finding Your Roots, journalist Nina Totenberg
It just makes me so curious.
and talk show host Andy Cohen.
I'm scared.
Ancestors who overcame enormous odds.
She got up by the skin of her teeth.
She was a fighter.
Plus,
You gonna tell me who my cousin is now?
Yes, please turn the page.
You're kidding me.
Yes!
Finding Your Roots.
Tuesday at 8 on WOUB.
And finally tonight, our seniors want to give a special thanks to everyone here at WOUB who has made our time here so incredibly special. Thank you to our editor-in-chief Atish and all of the professional staff who help us put on a newscast each and every night. We couldn't do it without you. Although we're going to miss telling stories for Southeast Ohio, we now have memories to last us a lifetime. And for many of us, our news journey is far from over, but we will always remember WOUB is where it began. You know, memories for a lifetime is an understatement. I mean, WOUB, we've all spent so much time here. This is my second family.
Countless hours spent in the newsroom. I know Jake and I spent a lot of time, even out of the newsroom, just going out there, especially in the winter weather.
We got this year, but like it felt like a lifetime. It's been great working with you guys, all of you.
And I'm so grateful we get so much handling experience. Like we're on TV right now. That's very cool.
But aside from all the experience,
exactly.
like
that's crazy.
Exactly, best friends.
People I can always count on. I can be myself around.
Exactly. I definitely didn't think I'd be doing this, but I'm glad I did.
I'm glad you did too.
There is nothing quite like it, y'all, and I could not put it into words how grateful I am to serve you, Southeastern Ohio. Let's take one last look at your weather. Right now, we're looking at temperatures in the mid to lower 60s, and going on that, you can actually see that the low temperature night is going to be dangerously cold. Why is that, Jake?
Well, we have this frost warning and freeze warning and frost advisory in our region because of those cooler temperatures. With that high pressure dominating in the region, it's going to clear those clouds, and we'll have radiative cooling overnight.
Oh my goodness, it's going to be freezing, guys, but tomorrow it's going to reach up to 70 degrees. You're going to be able to hang up that winter coat temporarily as those clouds roll on in. Take one last look at that week ahead. We can go ahead and see some changes have been made. We actually are seeing that system being really potent looking at the weekend, but especially it's going to last well into the work week. We won't see our next peaks of sun until Wednesday, guys.
Well, that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For the last time, I'm Anjan Rolls.
And I'm Lexi Lepa. For myself and all of the seniors here, we're signing off one last time. Have a great night.
Oh my God.
Donating your old car, motorcycle, or truck